Thank you and welcome. I've had the opportunity to be with the firm now. It's coming on about 7 months. As you can see from my gray hair, I've been in the industry quite some time, over 30 years. I spent 10 years sort of on sabbatical working in startup companies throughout the United States as well. So a bit of background in consumer technology, which in some ways is a rude awakening if you're used to a B2B type model that I've worked in banks predominantly around the world. It's my second time in London. I spent the mid-90s here with Morgan Stanley and Deutsche Bank, helping them expand their businesses globally around the world. And I love the idea of having this conference. The panels and the speakers are quite an impressive lot. And I've enjoyed getting to know the folks at exactpro and really learning about their capabilities and how they manage and the methodologies they've introduced in products to do the work that they do. When you're in the jobs that I've been over the years and quality matters so much, you really appreciate the work that goes on, folks like yourself as well as the team at exactpro. And really mostly in having a predictable way of managing a complex environment, frankly, so you can sleep at night. Which is a really difficult thing to do these days, especially when you're facing what we're facing tomorrow, which ought to be pretty exciting, to say the least. You know, when I first got a call to consider an opportunity at the London Stock Exchange Group, what I last knew about the London Stock Exchange, again, because I had spent years outside the industry, probably about 10 years, was it was an efficiently run single exchange, based in London, sort of end of story, and dealt with the London Stock Exchange in my position at Morgan Stanley and Deutsche Bank. Little did I know what happened with the exchange over the course of the last 7 or 8 years, which is extremely impressive in terms of expanding around the world, expanding into new businesses. Very complex businesses that require high availability, very high quality, very low latency, and a multicultural group of people around the world. So it's been impressive what Xavier Rollet, our CEO, has done, and the people running those businesses. Our data businesses are run by Mark Makepeace. Our exchanges, our clearing businesses, our corporate environment, and also our technology businesses. We have 3 businesses, and I'll get into a little bit of detail to explain what those businesses do today. This just gives you a feel of the breadth and what this company has experienced over the last 7 or 8 years. Just digging a little bit deeper, we have a set of capital markets businesses, primarily based in Italy and based here. Our post-trade businesses, which is a collection of acquisitions that we've done and the systems that support those acquisitions. Information services are index and analytics businesses. Technology is, three companies that we purchased over the years, and also hosting and connectivity and client connectivity and hosting their applications. And what we call business services, which is really training events such as this, and how we manage property around the world, which is fairly complex these days. So it just gives you a feel for the portfolio and how it's transformed over the years. So we have this dichotomy. What we do has to be fast, and you have to prove it every single day, in fact, every single second. Low latency, high throughput, very robust and resilient, yet flexible and cost effective. So this is a giant sort of optimization problem, and one that is fairly stressful to do very well on a day-to-day basis. The folks that help us do this are Millennium Gate Lab and exactpro. And what you see here is a list of their products and services today that are offered in production every single day. We use these products and services internally, and we sell them in the market to companies around the world. Millennium, we'll dive into Millennium a little bit deeper. It's the acquisition that we made several years ago and have been maturing their products and services around the world. Gate Lab, a little bit more recent, complementary to the products and services offered by Millennium. And exactpro is our most recent acquisition, and obviously our sponsor here, and a great addition to the trio. So just digging deep into Millennium a little bit, this is the core for the exchanges. And Millennium's been doing this and perfecting this for several years now. Most recently, been building post-trade products. We have post-trade products out in the market, and as important, if not more important, we're building the technology that's powering the post-trade companies that really power LSEG today. So the complexity, the scalability, the reliability requirements that we have as a business in managing systemic risk is what Millennium is doing for us right now as we speak. Impressive quality, impressive uptime, a flexible organization, and like any technology group that has to transcend over the years and respond to shorter life cycles, really changing how they're doing business by shortening that life cycle and adopting methodologies like Agile and Scrum. Gate Lab, also one of the key technologies in the group, a much smaller business today than what you'll see with Millennium, but one that's critical to our day-to-day operations as well as our customers. More of a group that focuses on the front end of trading as opposed to sort of the middle, the back, and sort of the core engine and post-trade as Millennium does. Critical to our customers and becoming more critical to our internal customers as well. And exactpro, basically a products and services company. So what's impressive about, I think, what exactpro has done in the short term is, when some companies think about testing, and this is sort of old thinking, is it's writing automation scripts. The way exactpro thinks about it is hire really smart computer scientists, build products, automate, and build learning technology into the software that they've produced to make this a much more sophisticated environment to run and to operate on behalf of our customers. This is something obviously that we see, and I'm very excited about what we can do here, because this is something we can do certainly outside the financial services industry as well. So there's a huge amount of upside here. This just gives you a feel for the growth in exactpro over the since 2009, end of 2009, early 2010. So significant growth in staff and in products and in customer sets. Joseph mentioned this, and I cannot stress this more. Open access is a strategy of the group, and it's very fundamental into who we are, how we do business, and how we intend to transform the industry. This is very different than the way our competitors think about vertical integration. Our competitors are typically vertically integrated, and you buy all of it or none of it. With us, in effect, you can unbundle what is a vertical value chain, and you can buy parts of it. So we can sell to competitors of other businesses within LSEG, which implies that you have to be much more commercial, and you have to be very good at what you do, because you're competing in the marketplace for all parts of that value chain, which isn't benefiting from vertical integration only. So this is a very different philosophy. It's something that Xavier conceptualized some time ago and has made part of the culture at LSEG. So we think of ourselves as having to be highly competitive in what we do across all the products and services that we sell today. We're very pleased to be hosting you here, and I remember one of the things I've been focused on is self-improvement, continuous improvement, and realizing our full potential across the board in the technology and operations we do every day. So in order to prove it, you need some kind of a measured mechanism. So we built a scorecard. We have 10 categories about how we measure ourselves today. One is quality. It doesn't matter what your cost structure is. It doesn't matter how fast you are. If it doesn't work to the customer's expectation, you're basically out of business. This is why quality is so key, and it typically impacts cost, and it will impact time to market as well. So this is one of the things we sort of struggled with, and when I mean struggle is it's really hard to pin down, what are those key leading indicators that impact the lagging indicators. Think about the lagging indicators as the result, and the leading indicator is the thing that you manage to generate the result. And over the course of the last several months, we've sort of landed on these leading and lagging indicators today, which include, are your requirements stable? What we found is that's probably the number one thing that people struggle with that impacts schedules, impacts costs, and impacts quality. So I'd probably put that at the top. Compile quality is something else that we measure, again, as a leading indicator of downstream bugs. The QA coverage, right, again, as a good leading indicator of what could happen in production. Total containment effectiveness, and then ultimately a lagging indicator called leak defects into production. So that's what you're worried about, and again, you want to manage to the things like requirement stability, compile quality, and QA coverage as the leading indicators, to the results, which are ultimately, what bugs do you see in production. What we want to get out of this is, frankly, a sharing of ideas. We want to be better at what we do at the London Stock Exchange Group, and we want to enhance the industry. So that's why we're here. That's why we've invited people from all different parts of the industry to help us, extend what we do in this area and improve how we think about quality. So that's all I have for today. And again, I wish you a lot of success in the conference and enjoy hosting everybody here. Thanks for your time.